Christopher?
Hi, everyone. My name is Christopher Gross. I'm a candidate for our Budget Committee. I currently work for the State of New Hampshire's Budget Office as a business supervisor. As a business supervisor, I oversee 13 state agencies and 2 administratively attached agencies. Some of these departments are Department of Corrections, Department of Treasury, Liquor, Lottery, just to name a few. So in this role, I evaluate the financial operations of agencies to be sure that they're compliant with all federal, state, local laws, and generally accepted accounting principles. I approve submissions for all contracts, grants, transfers, acceptances of monies for the governor and council. And during the budget process, I evaluate and approve procedures for agencies' budget submissions, and I advise the governor's office on budget requests. So given all this experience, I felt that I was uniquely qualified for the role of Hopkinton Budget Committee. On a personal level, I've been a resident of Hopkinton for about 10 years. I currently have 3 children in the Hopkinton schools, aged 16, almost 14, and 11. They're very active in town sports and school sports. So given this, I'm very interested in maintaining our schools. I've got a vested interest with my children on having good schools and having a good community because we love this town. That being said, we are on an unsustainable path currently with our current taxes. We ask so much of our residents, and I think in many cases right now, we're asking too much of our residents. Many people on fixed incomes are having to make decisions that they shouldn't be in a position to make. So given my experience, I bring the opportunity to analyze the budgets in the past and what we've done, look at what we're doing now, and come up with solutions that are fiscally responsible. I see my time is up, so I'll just end with saying, if elected, I'll work to bring common sense approaches to fiscal responsibility. And thank you for the Rotary Club and for everyone coming out today. Thank you.
Thank you. Christopher?
Experience. I've been doing this with the state for years. I've also been a financial data manager with the state for 5 years, and my ability to oversee budgets, which is more in line with what the Budget Committee does, not builds them directly. I think that's exactly what I do every day. So I think bringing those skills to the town will be very beneficial.
And Christopher, what knowledge deficit might you have in relation to sitting on the Town of Hopkinton Budget Committee, and how would you go about finding a remedy?
Probably the interaction with the different municipal divisions. I know how things work in the state, and I work with state agencies, but I don't really have experience hands-on with how the village and the town operate with the Budget Committee or the school with the Budget Committee. So I think that would be something that, I'm going to have to learn. I'm going to have to pick up. I don't suspect it's going to be very different from dealing with other state agencies. I think in the state, each agency is sort of independent and unique. I think it'll be a little different with the town. You're all working towards one overall goal and one overall budget with sort of subdivisions. But I think that'll be easy to pick up.
Thank you, Christopher. Christopher, so the Budget Committee supported all of the school board and the select board warrants this year. Do you? And if not, do you have any specific warrants that you might not support?
No, I did not support the budget as it was written. Specific warrants, no, but plenty of waste in the school budget that I saw. $10,000 for a retirement party, $1,000 for retirement gifts, $2,500 for food for the first day of school. These are things that we should not be burdening the taxpayer with. These are things that should be funded from within. I think the Budget Committee did a good job this year at trying to get some reduction. I think they got about $300,000 in reduction on the final version of the budget, which I thought was excellent. I thought it was a good starting point. But they too recognized that the budget was there were things that could be done in a $27.5 million school budget. There were places that we could have saved a little bit more and still given our kids a great education. So no, I did not support it as it was. I probably would have supported it with a little bit more taken out.
Thank you. Christopher?
My wife is a librarian too, so I'm not proud of this, but I joined Facebook about 4 weeks ago. I did it for this campaign. It was recommended that I do that by other people. Thanks, Amanda. I stay off of social media. That's just my personal thing. My wife doesn't. She loves it. I hate it. But no, I think I started going to meetings. I actually started talking to Lauren. I began going to meetings and getting information and getting more involved. And it's been very helpful. I'm not thrilled with what we have online right now for information. I'd like to see, and if I get on the budget committee, I know Steve, I think, works on the web page. I'd like to see more on Hopkinton's town web page as far as posting budgets and being more transparent with what's out there. It's just hard to find. You can find it. It's just not intuitive. It's not great. And I think that would go a long way to help involve the community and get answers out there when people do see things that are online. If they had a resource, a place on the town website where they could go and look that up and say, hey, that's not true. You know, they can rebut online what's factually out there. So,
would you like to tackle this?
I think, yeah, I don't think the question necessarily speaks to the people that are on the board, but the makeup of the board. So the board is supposed to act sort of like a legislative appropriations committee to the districts. Having 4 representatives of the districts and 6 members of the board, I think is pretty fair. If it went up to 7, I don't think it would be a problem, but I think it's fairly balanced, and I think I think it's fine how it is. I don't see any reason for a change.
So, so the final question is, I've heard a lot of that we don't have a sustainable trajectory going forward. We've been hearing that for years. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. So how do we want to talk about what is sustainable? What's a sustainable rate of growth? What's a sustainable tax increase? I'm going to leave it to you with how you want to address that. But does the question make sense to everybody? You're good. And Eric, you get it.
I get to go first, so. All right.
This means you get Christopher.
So as Lauren alluded to, the school budget went from about $20 million in 2020 to $27.5 million, roughly a 35 to 40% increase over the last 5 years. In the 10 years I've been here, my taxes, and I know it's anecdotal, but my taxes went from $7,800 to $14,000. Roughly a 72% increase in taxes. And I know Bryce has spoken to inflation and things have gone up. Yes, things have gone up and there has been inflation, but not that much inflation to account for those kind of increases. Do I think we should gut the budget? No, I don't. Do I think we should hold the line for a couple of years? Yes, I do. I think we need to hold the line, let things catch up a little bit, and then, 2 to 3% increases in line with inflation going forward seem like they're reasonable to me. But we've jumped so far ahead so quickly that we just can't continue on this path. And a percentage increase now on the giant increase we've already had is that much greater than if it was that percentage over the smaller number. So we need to slow down. We need to slow down. Like I said, I'm not for gutting anything, but I do think as Lauren alluded to, we need to pause. We need to just pump the brakes a little bit.